Well, it would appear that I was wrong to predict doom and gloom for Reinforce, and now I regret not having gone to Philadelphia. More specifically, it went very well. There were 56 straight minutes of Chris Betts' keynote that failed to mention GenAI, and it was wonderful. The 5 releases that came out, even the ones that touched on GenAI themselves, solved real problems experienced by real customers, and it made me feel like it was 2019 again. Maybe reInvent won't be a total disaster? Now, what else did they do? AWS CloudTrail Lake announces AI-powered natural language query generation in preview. This is a surprisingly good use of GenAI. I could have really used it recently, and I'm glad it exists now. This episode's been sponsored by our friends at Panoptica, part of Cisco. This is one of those real rarities where it's a security product that you can get started with for free, but also scale to enterprise grade. Take a look. In fact, if you sign up for an enterprise account, they'll even throw you one of the limited, heavily discounted AWS Skill Builder licenses they got, because believe it or not, unlike so many companies out there, they do understand AWS. To learn more, please visit panoptica.app/lastweek in AWS. That's panoptica.app/lastweek in AWS. Detect malware in new object uploads to Amazon S3 with Amazon Guard Duty. This was a great idea when Airbnb built Binary Alert 7 years ago or more now. What took AWS so long? Further, what happens when the malware signatures change? Does every object get rescanned at 60 cents a gigabyte? AWS adds passkey multi-factor authentication, MFA, for root and IAM users. I wish this could be used to authenticate in place of passwords instead of just as a second factor, because let's be clear, if you can compromise a passkey, you can compromise an API key or a passphrase far more easily. In the works, AWS region in Taiwan. This is fun and I endorse it. The more regions there are, the sooner AWS is going to have to realize just how untenable its current every region gets its own completely distinct console approach is. It makes it very hard to chase something down if you don't know exactly where it is. Optimize storage costs in Amazon OpenSearch service using Z-standard compression. You can further optimize transfer costs for several different applications with their cross-AZ replication fees by enabling Z-standard compression. This, of course, doesn't apply to AWS native services, who get free cross-AZ traffic built in for replication purposes. The rest of us are stuck, paying 2 cents per gigabyte. Few things are better for your career and your company than achieving more expertise in the cloud. Security improves, compensation goes up, employee retention skyrockets. Panoptica, a cloud security platform from Cisco, has created an academy of free courses just for you. Head on over to academy.panoptica.app to get started. AWS debuts AI certifications and courses for cloud jobs. Of course there are certification paths for this. The pull quote, "We're seeing a lack of expertise to help deploy, maintain, monitor models. An AWS certification that covers these skills would carry value to me as a hiring manager, and I would make this a requirement to my team," comes from an unnamed AWS partner and is clearly completely fake. It's the exact kind of placeholder quote you put in when drafting something like this, and you'd replace it with a real quote as soon as you get one. In this case, they never got a real quote because it's a batshit insane sentiment to express. AWS's head of security shares 7 reasons why security will always be Amazon's top priority. Number 8, because if it isn't, they don't get to have a cloud anymore. It is beyond me how Azure is still a going concern at this point. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm Corey Quinn. Let's keep going.